Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you all again back in our Jigsaw Zoom, or you might be watching this at home. Whatever way it is that you're watching it this morning, what we're going to be learning a little bit more about today is one of the stories in the Bible, which is about Peter, one of Jesus's disciples. And as you probably all know, Peter was one of Jesus's most special friends. But in the story that we look at today, Peter lets Jesus down. And I just wanted to start by asking you if you have ever done that. If you have ever felt that you have maybe let a friend down, or maybe a friend has let you down. And if you just think for a moment, you might be able to think about how that feels. You probably felt sad. You probably felt annoyed with yourself or with the person. And it's not a nice feeling whenever someone that you love lets you down. But the good news is there's a good ending to the story, and we're going to hear all about that very soon. Before we do, I wanted to show you something else. This is a little game that we got at Christmas this year, and it's great fun. It's called Dilemma-Rama. It's a great name for a game as well. And it's really simple. Basically, you get two choices, and you have to choose which one you would like, and the rest of the people in the group have to guess what your choice was. So you can probably see on the front here, this is a great one. It says, there is a chocolate river in your garden, or you can talk with animals. So if you were given that choice, would you choose to have a river full of chocolate in your garden, or would you like to talk with animals? Okay, I would find that one pretty hard, but I'd probably go for the chocolate, to be fair. If we open it up, you'll see inside loads of cards with loads more choices. Loads and loads of these here. Here's another one. You can get to eat free in restaurants, or everywhere you go, people compliment you. It's another good choice as well, isn't it? But look how many there are. So many choices. And that's only in one little game, and it's little imaginary choices. But every day in our life, we are faced with lots of decisions and lots of choices. And we might feel that we're having a bit of a dilemma. Okay, and a dilemma is when you don't really know what to do, or maybe you do know what you should do, but you find it hard to do that thing. And that's really what happens to Peter in our story today. Peter knows what he should do, but he finds it hard to do the right thing. So what I'm going to ask you to do now, if you're at home, I'm going to ask you just to pause this video and either read the story in your Bible. You can find it in the Gospels in Matthew and in Luke, or you can watch the little YouTube video link, which we will be posting with this as well. And it's just a little cartoon version of the story. So in our Zoom this morning, we're going to pause now and watch that for 2 minutes, and then I'll be back again to talk to you a little bit afterwards about what we learned from that. So now is your time to pause and watch the video. Okay, so hopefully you've all now had a chance to watch the little cartoon version of the story about Peter. And you'll know by now that what Peter does is he denies knowing Jesus. He says, no, I'm not one of his followers. I'm not one of his friends. And he does this because he's scared. He's afraid of what the consequences are going to be. And sometimes we can do that, can't we? We can run away, or we can hide from decisions that we don't want to make. Sometimes I put off making decisions when I don't want to make them. But poor Peter, he was very emotional, wasn't he? And he was then afterwards, he was sad that he had let down Jesus. But here's the good news. The good news is that Jesus doesn't turn his back on him. Jesus doesn't walk away from him. And Jesus doesn't say, do you know what, Peter? That's it. You've let me down. You're no longer one of my friends. In fact, Jesus is completely different, isn't he? Because Jesus forgives him. And Jesus will always forgive us if we mess up or if we turn our back on him in any kind of way whatsoever. So if you think just for a minute about the week that's just passed, or even this morning already, there might be things that you've done already this morning that you think, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I wish I had paused and thought about that more. And I'm quite sure that if it was something maybe that happened in your family, that even if somebody's cross with you for a little while, they will forgive you. And that is the same with Jesus. and he forgives us everything, which is the best news in the whole world. So I just a few wee points I wanted to finish with that I think we can really learn from this story, and that you might even talk a wee bit more with some people at home about, or in your jigsaw grips you might be able to talk about this as well. So the first thing is, Jesus already knows what challenges we will face in our life, and he is praying for us to help us make the right choice. So if you read the Bible version of this, you will see that Jesus knew that Peter was going to be challenged this way. And he said he was going to pray for him, that he would have strength. And Peter thought that he would stand up for Jesus, but in the moment, he was too afraid, wasn't he? So even people, that's my second point, even people who love Jesus a lot can let him down. So even if you love Jesus, there may be times when you do things that you're not proud of. But the best news, and the final point, is to remember that Jesus forgives. He loves us so much that no matter what we do to let him down, he will always be there to pick up the pieces and to forgive us and to help us get a new start. So this week, when you're going through your daily life and even the rest of today, if you're faced with any choices or decisions, and they may be decisions when you know what the right thing is to do in your heart, but it's hard to do it, perhaps if you pray about it, you might get a little bit more strength to be able to do the right thing. And if you don't, just remember that Jesus will always forgive you because he loves you so, so much. So I hope you have a great day the rest of today, and I hope you enjoyed learning all about the story of Peter whenever he denies knowing Jesus. Happy Sunday.